You have left Canada. Alberta left Canada. What do you think the value of the Canadian currency is going to be with respect to the American dollar? Hey, everybody, and welcome back. Today, what I want to be talking about is separatism. Alberta, of course, what's been in the news for the last little bit, but also Quebec is starting to dip its toe in. Well, the party Quebecois is starting to dip its toe in to threatening to leave again. But this video, I really want to be talking to those who are for separation in Alberta and in Quebec. I really, really want you to listen. If you can please just stay and just hear me out, because I don't think you guys are really understanding the consequences to separation. And these political leaders, political groups are just using you guys to get control so they can do their own thing, power grab and everything else. So the Parti Québécois leader, Paul St. Pierre Plamondon, I know I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but I'll be honest with you, I don't care for this gentleman, so too bad. But he told the pro-independent movement, Alberta's pro-independent movement, that he'll recognize a free and independent Alberta if he became Quebec's premier. So Alberta's got support in Quebec of another fringe group that wants to separate, which is with any group in any fundamental uprising, if you want to call them. Support in any area is good for any group. So he indicated that the government will back the Alberta in a separation negotiation with Ottawa if the provincial referendum on independence succeeds. Okay. So that is technically what they need, because they're going to need the support of all the provinces. So I can understand that. That's a good thing. But I need you to understand something. You guys still don't get. Be careful what you wish for. And be careful of the people who promise you support to get what you wish for. So let's look at this. Let's look at the scenario. Alberta separates, and then of course Quebec's going to separate. Okay, you guys support each other. Rest of Canada says, you know what? Kick rocks. We're tired of you guys whining. We don't need you. Which to me, at the end of the day, we need each other. Quebec, Alberta needs Canada. Canada needs Alberta and Quebec. We're all one. That's where I stand on this. But you guys separate. And Canada, the rest of Canada has had it with you guys. Alberta, Albertans, Quebec doesn't give two F's about you guys. You're just a useful idiot to them, to be blunt, to get them support so that they can separate. And what I'm talking about is logistically. Think of it this way. You guys are landlocked. I've said this before. You're landlocked. You separate, the rest of Canada is not going to want to negotiate with you, even the provinces, because at the end of the day, Saskatchewan and BC, yeah, you have support in Saskatchewan, but Saskatchewan doesn't control its borders in terms of other countries, international countries. And if you guys separate, you will be an international, a different country, because you will no longer be Canada. So Saskatchewan has no control on negotiations with trade with you guys. They won't have it. They'll have to go through Ottawa. And Ottawa will say, no. BC won't even try. Northwest Territories, none of it, Yukon, whatever, they don't care either, because you have nothing that they need. The States, they may trade with you, but you're going to pay to trade with them. And what I mean is, let's say the oil is $100 a barrel. You're going to have to sell it to them for an extreme discount. I would fathom guess maybe $20 a barrel, and they may trade with you. You guys are going to lose hard. Okay. Quebec doesn't have this problem. They're on the water. They're on the Atlantic Ocean. They have the St. Lawrence. They're connected to the Atlantic. They have a trade route. Easily just put a port and they can hit uh, international trade with Europe, Africa, whoever. What resources do they have? I, in terms of oil, natural gas, yeah, kind of, but it hasn't been developed. Oil, of course not. Um, Metals, yes, but they have a lot of electricity, so they can export that to the US. So they can make money like that. Maybe you guys can do the same thing with like with burning fossil fuels, whatever. But that's a small portion of any country's GDP is exporting electricity. But again, they have access to the Atlantic. You guys won't. So this idea that you guys will become trade partners, I don't know how when you've got provinces in the way. Now, another thing is St. Pierre was also had said he had vowed to redirect billions in wasteful federal spending to Quebec's coffers as premier. First of all, you have no control over federal funds. The money goes to the federal government and they choose to spend it anyway. What he's indicating is when they separate, that all that money the federal government was collecting now is staying in within the province. Theory sounds good, sounds solid until you decide and you figure out exactly in what currency are you going to be collecting that money in, because you're no longer a part of Canada. Are you going to use the Canadian dollar? No, you won't be. You will no longer be part of Canada. So you will not be a part of the Canadian currency. Now, you can still use the Canadian currency technically, because every other country, there's certain third world countries that only have American currency, but that's within cash. But digitally, electronically, I don't know how that's going to work. You can use American money, fine. And whatever currency you currently have within your coffers will be in Canadian dollars. That won't go away. But again, look at it this way. You have left Canada. Alberta left Canada. What do you think the value of the Canadian currency is going to be with respect to the American dollar? Right now, I think it's about 30%, 30 cents on the dollar. You don't think it's going to go like increase to about 50, 60, 70 cents? Because the rest of the world is going to see a country that has split off. A third of the population is no longer part of Canada. Trade routes, through Quebec will be hindered. Oil, which is huge GDP for Canada, will be no longer a part of Canada. So the value of the existing current Canadian currency is going to be devalued beyond belief. So your one Canadian dollar may be worth 30 cents. So this idea that they're going to save and bring in billions of extra dollars is a joke. But they don't want to tell you the nuance and the details, because when you really start breaking it down, everybody's going to say, this is a stupid idea. I don't think we should separate. Of course, it's going to hurt Canada, but who do you think it's going to hurt the most? The people who separate, especially Alberta. Guys, don't get swindled by this extreme Quebecois leader that he's going to promise you the world, where as soon as you guys separate and they separate, they don't owe you a thing. They don't need you. They have access to trades. They have resources that they can get to other markets. And that's all they need. They may take the hit on the value of their dollar, but they'll be better off. They'll be hurt dramatically, but they'll still be better off than Alberta. your current currency that you have in the banks will be worth pennies on the dollar. And you can't get your resources out because you're landlocked. And the deals you have to make with the partners around you are the ones you left and told that they treated you unfairly for the last 20 years and been whining. So I hope, I don't think it's going to happen, but I hope these separatists in Alberta see the light and don't take this deal. I've said this before and I'll say it again. When Canada is strong, Alberta is strong. When Alberta is strong, Canada is strong. When you guys, when everybody is divided, everybody loses. So that's it for me. I hope you guys take this in consideration and really think about where you guys are going to be going with this separation, and think twice about it, because grass is never greener on the other side. Anyways, take care, guys. We'll talk later.